Navy, Royal New Zealand Air Force, the aircraft was able in most important aspects to outclass the Mitsubishi A6M0 that was the principal carrier-borne fighter of the Imperial Japanese Navy, and the US Marines employed Corsairs very effectively as they island hopped through the Pacific in the closing stages of World War II. From the aircraft carriers HMS Victorious and Formidable to strike targets around the Japanese capital, Tokyo. And following on from Flight Lieutenant James Nicholson of RAF Fighter Command during the Battle of Britain, it was Royal Canadian Navy Volunteer Reserve Corsair pilot Lieutenant Robert Hampton Gray. Corsairs carried on in use post-World War II. The US Navy and Marines used them in the Korean War. The French naval air arm, the Aéronautique Navale, flew them in Indochina, Suez, Algeria and Tunisia. They were involved in many smaller campaigns, but it's with the Pacific War that the Corsairs most associated. Corsair, impressive enough as a naval fighter. The Sea Fury, one of the ultimate piston-engined naval fighters. Right at the end of the propeller age, before the jets came in. The idea was for Hawker to produce a replacement for its Tempest 2 for the Royal Air Force. At the outset, the design was known as the Tempest Light Fighter. When World War II ended, the RAF no longer had a requirement, but the Fleet Air Arm of the Royal Navy did, and the Sea Fury was born. The land-based Fury had taken to the air on the 1st of September 1944. The Sea Fury followed in February 1945, and it went into squadron service that October. Nonetheless, the design was refined and the Sea Fury, in its Mark 10 form, began to replace the Supermarine Seafire as the Fleet Air Arm's main carrier-borne fighter and fighter-bomber of the post-war era. Of course, the most famed exploit of Royal Navy Sea Furies was during the Korean War in August 1952, when one was credited with the shooting down of a communist-flown MiG-15 jet fighter.